Hello. So we're back here with the Bruce Timm style Daenerys Targaryen model being done in the box modeling process. As you can see, we got her proportions pretty good, but there's some discrepancies here, as you can see with the boots, as far as they're not exactly symmetrical for that build. And more than even that, there's also, as you can see, if we go to the side view, there's going to be, it's not going to exactly match up, which, I mean, I guess that's typical of this. Uh, Something, I mean, these sheets are what uh, probably got made in the early 90s, so I don't know how exact they were or if anything's ever been that exact, but right here, the way I'm going to deal with those issues is I have here a cube that I subdivided into a poly sphere. Once again, um, as you'll see, I make pretty liberal use of this because it keeps your quad topology, and if you use the scale command at the bottom, it gives you a nice hard edge. Once you do the scale Z and scale Z0, that'll give you a nice flat edge, and then also give you some good quad topology. And then at that point, all you have to do is work with the work with the silhouette to match it up to the various views. Like right here, we're doing the side view, and then also in tandem working to match it up with the front view as well. Which you gotta use some of your own imagination with this, because it's just not gonna match up exactly. It's not that precise. I mean, it'd be nice to have something that precise, but as far as reference goes, a lot of times it's not that precise. I would think if you really wanted something precise, it would be kind of a 3D character turnaround. If someone made like a turntable for that, that would give you some, probably give you pretty spot on everything lined up vertically, as it were. But that's not what we're dealing with. This NPR Bruce Timm style is not that exact, but I mean it works. It made that series a hit series, and kind of reinvigorated the Batman franchise, which I can't even say that it like resurrected franchise, because the Batman, the movies, the Michael Keaton, that did that for the series, but this kind of built on top of it, and not only just on top of it, it, I believe the theme song is somewhat loosely based on the Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman theme song. So it took a lot from that. It had a kind of a darker version of Gotham. So it's that kind of style that we're doing here. And of course, that style fits into the NPR, the non-photorealistic rendering style. So, but you see here, attaching the angles, they're kind of crooked and they don't line up that well when you do it. And partly because of just trying to get them spaced apart, because when we're going to rig it, having them that close together can give you some issues when you do the rigging. So I'm just trying to space them apart. That's why I put them at an angle there, and you can see she's looking pretty good here. I mean, Still some work to do, but try to get that straight to curve. We're always looking for that to see that we've got that going on, because that kind of defines this the Bruce Timm uh, Batman animated series style, and the series used that kind of style to great effect on so many characters. So that's what we're aiming for here. I'm making the shoes, the boots a little longer, and just making it, try to match it more to the reference. We're not going to do the heel because I don't think it's necessary, because this is NPR, so not everything has to be, super detailed. It kind of defeats the purpose of NPR, since NPR is kind of like simulating a cartoon look, which in itself is, a simplified version of what something realistic would look like. And you see, I'm also using the smoothing algorithm to, get the average out the size of those quads, and also adding some geometry here. Just give us more to work with, and also makes it easier to gives you more to move in direction, and gives you more to work with to match it to the reference. So it's not looking bad. As you can see, I'm trying to get the breasts like they have them in the reference, which is kind of overshooting, the chest there. So, and also kind of covers up the arm slightly when it's down at that angle. So that's just what we're trying to do there, and then trying to give her somewhat of a deltoid area too, with at the arms, and I'm not completely happy with the pelvic area, because she has a really narrow waist, so, and I'm not exactly nailing the hip to waist ratio there, I don't think, but if I mess around too much with it, I've found it could start to look worse. So we'll work with it a little bit, but that's the thing. You don't want to get too caught up in trying to make it look exactly like the reference at this point. And some things you're just gonna have to accept as they are, unfortunately, because box modeling, it gives you more control, but it doesn't. It gives you more control over the topology, but you're kind of limited with as far as the amount of quads you're working with for the amount of detail you can put in. So here I started with the head, and just using a plane. We're going to build the head from a plane, and right now I'm working on just giving her like that face mask, kind of flow that goes from like the lower forehead and then down around the eyes, and then comes up like through the cheekbone, and then meets like over the nose. So that's what we're building here, and I'm going to be constantly switching between views to get it lined up, because this can easily get away from you at this part of the process if you're not constantly going back and forth, and here I was kind of encountering some issues with some of the commands. It seemed like they weren't working as some causing some issues with this version of Blender, but we worked past it. Um, so and the this part is kind of gives you your foundation for your face, so it's important. Um, and you kind of gotta compare the difference between the front, the side, and also the top, because the top view has an effect. Uh, if you look down from the top, and you could see that you might need to adjust the angle somewhat to more closely match a face should be, because it can be matched up in the front and the side sometimes, but be off in the top view. Like, be at a bad angle on the top view. Like, you might need to pull the forehead out some more. It might be too sharp. If you understand what I'm saying. So you might have to smooth it out. So I'm just building this region right now. It's this way of building the face. It gives you a lot of control, but it kind of takes longer to see. Versus, the sculpting method, you'll start to see if you take a higher poly mesh, you start sculpting on it, you'll start to see the forms fairly quickly, as opposed to this method where you got to build it out, because that's one advantage of the sculpting is you can get the basic forms in rather quickly, but it takes a lot of work on top of that to start narrow down the details, especially if you're trying to do a reference to a high level of accuracy and likeness. So I'm just adding in some edge loops here, and just trying to get this shape right. The issue with this is just her face is very stylized, so, and you can see some discrepancy between the front view and the side view. So due to that, then it's a little bit of it is a challenge to get it so it looks good, and everything looks a little off in the beginning, so kind of expect that. And there's no real depth information to give you depth, so you kind of don't know how far to pull back to the eye socket. So you just start guessing, and you gotta start using your best guess, and then also the information you have from the reference to start making it look good. Because one thing about these characters, about the female Bruce Timm style, is that they have the not only eyebrows, but the eyelashes are very prominent. Some of the challenges, like I said, with the face mask, it's just knowing her nose, building out the kind of dip that happens on the forehead, and then knowing her nose, she's not gonna really have much of a nose. It's just kind of gonna be like the reference shows, like kind of a little small circular part kind of sticking up from her face, and one good thing to do is when you're doing it, always make sure that the forehead is always the foremost part, sticking out further than the eye socket. So you got to pull the eye socket back when you're making that area, and keep in mind the angle of the eye socket to the rest of the head, because it's kind of, you gotta kind of look at the front view to really see it. Um, but that's important as well, because you don't want it. You want that angle to be as good as you can get it, and you see the mask here. Looks like it's not looking bad. It could be better, but I think that's all for today. We'll see you next time.